It's the Marc Clarke Morning Show. Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Delicious beverage?
Duh.
Okay, so we can finally hear you now, because that was. I don't think we can hear you, Mark.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. We have been all telling you.
All that I said, all that, and nobody heard what I said. Well, okay,
nobody.
Thank you for my sponsors, Delicious Beverage. You can use the Delicious Beverage code Mark 2020, get 20% off, and Royal Moss LLC. Go to Instagram, look up Royal Moss LLC. Tell them Marc Clarke sent you. I start my day off with Royal Moss. And again, DC icon, ladies and gentlemen, Bootsy Vegas is in the building.
Finally, we can hear, because the people were saying, "Oh, we can't hear." I like the bells and whistles.
Okay. So you got, and let's get the comments popping. I got Shalada in the building. What's going on? Okay, I see what y'all saying. Thank you. I didn't have that up. All right, great. Okay, so we're good to go. So today's show, Bootsy, it's an amazing story. You know, I was blessed to work with DC Black Broadway this past season, and COVID shut down some of the things we were about to do, but God
Somebody made way.
You know what? We thought that we thought the pandemic was gonna shut it down. But
Let me get my money for that complexion plate. Jeez.
It built it up.
Right.
You thought it was gonna shut it down, but it built it up.
Yeah.
And so we got Dr. Lovail Long here from DC Black Broadway in the building. Doc, what's going on, player?
What's going on?
And so, you know, we thought it was a shutdown, but it was a bring up. I got to work that out. Okay, but also with DC Black Broadway, the lovely, talented, genius Lisa Renee joins the conversation. What's going on, Lisa?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Well,
Hey.
I am honored to have you guys on the show. You guys have some amazing news. It's awesome. But first, we got to start. Dr. Long, we got to start. You know what, Bootsy, you know, just like you, I run into these people who have these amazing stories. These stories of rags to riches from, as Willie Jolly says, a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Right.
You know, earlier this week, we started this week off with Sandra Pearsall, who had her amazing story and talking about finding a gift. And so, Dr. Long, you know, before we hop into the whole what's coming up, because it's exciting news, I want to share, because at the end of the day, this whole show is about motivating, inspiring, getting people tapped into their gifts and helping people understand that they have to believe in themselves. And so with you, my friend, Dr. Long, I was there when the Dr. Long came about.
Okay.
A long way from Dr. Long's a long way from where it all began, right, brother?
Yes. Where it all began.
And so, you know, DC Black Broadway is one of the most successful local, you know, theater groups, acting troupes, theater productions in the country, and growing every day. But this all started. Tell us how it started, though, Dr. Long, and we got time. So tell us how it started. No, you didn't go to Juilliard and take screenwriting and then go to film school and NYU. Your story was different, right?
Right, a lot different. Well, in 2007, I was taking a trip to Atlanta, Georgia, and that's when everything kind of went down. When I was in Atlanta, Georgia, I was charged with conspiracy to trafficking cocaine. And then they had an investigation on me. Then they ran in one of my homes in Curry, North Carolina. And I was charged with trafficking cocaine and carrying a concealed firearm by a convicted felon. So from there, I went to prison in 2009. Came home in 2016, and while I was incarcerated, I had to do a lot of soul searching. I found God, found my wife, and a lot of people that I thought would be there for me wasn't. So it's like God dropped a lot of people in my life for me to wake up. So I met a young man in Washington, D.C. We was on a compound in Atlanta, Georgia, but not Coffee, Georgia. We was on a compound of 3,000 men, and there was only 2 guys from the Washington, D.C. area that was on the whole compound. So I met this young guy named Salahuddin, and let me say this, I got locked up when I was like 40 years old. So I started in the drug game at 1984 to 2000. I got locked up in 2009. So I'm sitting there, I meet this kid named Salahuddin, and he's writing these books, like all gangster books. And people in the dorm is going crazy. People going in the whole compound is going crazy about his books. So me being close to him, he asked me to read a book. So I said, okay, I don't have nothing to do. Let me read the book. I got about 2 pages of the book and I couldn't read it no more. And then he was like, what's wrong with you? I said, I can't read something that I've already done. Like, it was really irking me. It was really like hitting my soul that I was reading this book. So I actually gave him the book back and I asked him, like, you know, can we do something different? Like, can you write me something that is more family oriented? And he was like, nah, what you talking about? This is what I know. I'm like, nah, we got to change. We can't go back home with the same stuff that we left with. So he asked me, like, what's your thing? I said, only thing I know is I want to set the city on fire for one time. I've never did like any big events in the Washington, D.C. area at that time. I was doing I was behind a lot of scenes of the go-go stuff. Of course, I was me and Genghis and Juan Glover, Big G of the Backyard Band, was very, very tight on business then. I was with him through that whole Wire and Go-Go Awards and all kinds of stuff. And so I wanted to come back home just to make a name for myself, because I've never done it. One night I went to sleep and God said, I want you to write plays. And so we had this like 20-minute talk. And I was like, man, I'm not writing no play. I'm not a playwright. And he was like, nah, you're going to write these plays. And we went back and forth. I was like, nah, I'm not writing no play. I don't, where I come from, guys that do what I do, I don't know not one that ever wrote a play. That's not my sport. That's no scene where I want to go. And I know a couple of playwrights and people, and it's just not where I come from. So the next morning I woke up and I told Salahuddin, I said, man, I keep on saying, I heard something about a play. So Salahuddin was like, man, we can do it. I'm like, man, we can't do no play. That same day, The Wizard of Oz came on. Wiz came on. We was watching it. And it just popped in my head. I said, hey, man, what do you think about doing a go-go version of The Wiz? So Salahuddin, he's going to be whatever I'm with. When he's younger than me, he was like, yeah. So I can't do this. I said, I got to find someone that know, that background. So at that time, I had a legal phone in prison. I called Genghis. And I was like, well, I had a legal phone the whole time in prison. So I called Genghis. Genghis like, what's up with you? I said, man, I got an ID. He say, shoot it to me, Shawty, what you think? I say, what do you think about doing, a go-go music called The Geese? He was like, what are you talking about? I said, man, I take the W off it and put a G on it for go-go, and we'll call it The Geese. He was like, Slim, as soon as you get home, that's my favorite move. You always know I wanted to do that one. Man,
your invitation to him is incredible too. But go ahead, though.
Wait a minute.
Man, wow.
Doc, I just want to hop in. First of all, that impression, and then first of all, let's talk about God for a moment. That God, Jesus, was not the white, long-haired Jesus we see. Yeah. That God, he sounded like he looked like you.
Yeah. So we went back and forth, and I could say more deeply, but we went back and forth about the play thing, because I was just like, it never entered my mind. I wasn't a writer. I couldn't stay in school. It never entered my mind. It never did. And so I tell people, when God gives you an assignment, you can't fail it. You know what I'm saying? So, I talked to Genghis that night. He was like, Slim, as soon as you come home, we're going to drop it down. So I say, Genghis, I said, man, you think go-go accept it? Like, because I ain't never been to band. He said, they're going to accept whatever I say accept. Like, yeah, you could do it. So fast forward, came home. I had a lot of challenges when I came home. First thing was employment. I had a lot of challenges when I came home. I couldn't get a driver license for somehow in Georgia. They would give a convicted murder, a rapist. They would give them Medicaid, support, driving license. They get everything handed to them. But somehow in Georgia state, they don't allow a drug dealer no type of health assistance, not at all. So that was one of my biggest barriers. I couldn't get no assistance. I couldn't get no food stamps. I couldn't get no Medicaid. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't even get a license. They suspended my license for a whole year when I came home, and my charge had nothing to do with a car. It was a conspiracy track with just saying I was there and some people named me. So that was a big barrier, and I was feeling down on myself. very down on myself because when I left and went to prison, I was on a high. I was, as you could say, I was kind of rich. So coming home broke, I kept on telling my wife about the idea of the gigs. I finally got a job like $9 an hour at Home Depot. So I can tell you that wasn't cool to make $9 an hour in 2016 at Home Depot. So I kept on telling her about my idea of the dream, what God told me, boom, 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 boom. And, I was crying, women today is beautiful and strong. I'm crying. And if anybody been through that and has a wife, understand that women don't go for that. So I'm my head down. I'm like, man, she's like, I'm getting sick or tired of you. She was like, write the thing. I'm like, huh? She was like, you keep on talking about this go-go music, write it.
Man, I love it. Wait a minute. Shout out to Wise, man. Shout out to Wise, man. Come on now. Come on now. Support that backbone.
Put some respect on it.
Got to put the respect on it.
Oh, real quick, for those who don't know who Genghis is, that's Mr. Anwan Glover, aka Big G from The Wire.
Yeah.
So just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
See, as a woman, that's my director. That's what she do.
Right.
So,
by the side note, Lisa knows her go-go. We'll get into that later. Go ahead.
Yeah, she definitely knows. She's
I ain't even say nothing. I just been inquired.
We got between Lisa and Bootsy and we got a go-go squad here. But anyway, that comes later. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. So with that, I started thinking about jotting some things down, but then God gave me another assignment. He was like, you got to leave Atlanta. And what happened was I got promoted from God to being a manager on the floor and flooring. So they gave me a promotion. They gave me a promotion like 3 months later. So I was really happy about the promotion. So I'm thinking like, okay, I make $9 now. I'm about to get more hours. They're going to at least give me 12, right? So I went signed the application. This is my first job. I've never had a job in my life. I know nothing about working.
And Doc, you weren't a spring chicken. Let's keep it real. It ain't like you was 18, right?
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I got a promotion, and I was so excited. I just went and signed the application for the job. They gave it to me immediately because they said they wanted me to, because they like my organization. So, and I'm working with people that have been working at Home Depot for like 20 years, and they give me a promotion in 3. So I'm so excited. I signed it. I get the job. So I got going the next day to get the paper. I'm so excited about signing the paper. So I asked, I said, oh, I forgot. I said, how much I get paid? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for, she said, oh, yeah, you do get a stipend. We're going to give you 25 cents. I was like, 25 cents? Y'all expect me to do all this work, more hours, tell these people what to do that's been here longer than me, that knows more than me. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I went back home, head down. I wrote them a letter telling them that I was going to quit in like 2 weeks. They let me go immediately. I went on several other jobs.
They were like, that's okay. See you.
Yeah, they just dropped me off.
You trying to be on top of you trying to be nice. You trying to be right. They're like, right. Nah, we good.
Yeah, they let me go right then and there. So then I went to several other interviews, but the last interview was for a bus company. So at that point, I didn't have a license, but they was gonna bring me on for something else. So they gave me the whole. Man, I went through the whole process of interview, and actually, I got the job, and he was walking back to get my papers, and he said, "Oh, I forgot one question," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you a convicted felon?" Now this job was like $16 an hour, so I was like, "Yeah." Once I told him I was a convicted felon, he said, all right, I'll be back. He came back real quick. He said, I got some good news and I got some bad news. So I was like, give me the good news. He's like, you got the job. I said, well, what's the bad news? He said, we're going to give you $10 an hour. Yeah. Wow. And then right there, I was really deflated. I was like, nah, you just told me 16, so you're going to drop me down to 10? So I came home complaining to my wife again. She didn't want to hear it. And so God told me, go back home. And at that point, I'm on parole. I don't supposed to be out of town. I'm state property of Georgia. And I just left. I packed my stuff up, told my wife I'm gone. I came to DC, parole officer, nobody know. And once I got in DC, me and Salahuddin got together and we started writing the gigs. We met this guy named Vernon Williams and we started writing the gigs. And from there, everything popped off.
This sounds like a movie right here. Like this really does kind of sound like a movie when you hear the contents of the steps that he took. This is
that's coming later in the story. This is coming later in the story.
Man,
don't worry.
And so, okay, so Doc, now, was your wife mad that you came back home? One.
Very, very mad.
Number one. Number two, this seems like Mutsi said, this seems like the point in the movie when there's a slight win, but then there's a bad thing that happens. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So with that said, my wife is doing great in real estate in Atlanta. She's doing great. She has a team. She's doing her thing. And I just said, I'm gone. And she told me, she said, well, I don't want to change my career. I don't want to, do that. So I'm like, hey, I jumped out on God faith. I'm like, I'm gone. Fortunately, into getting here and meeting and start working with the guy I used to be with, she called and she was like, I see what you're doing. So she said about a month and a half, I fought her all the way to about a month. And she said, well, I'm going to come back home. If you believe in it this much, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to come back home. And man, I was so happy. I was so happy because I was about to break down and go back to Atlanta. But it seems like as soon as I was going to tell her, like, I'm coming back to Atlanta, she called me and said, hey, I'll move back home.
How did you avoid the parole? How did you avoid not getting caught?
Well, I had parole every month. So I would fly back down to Atlanta and go in the parole office, do what I have to do. And as soon as I walk out the parole office, I go right back to DC. So once I did, I started, once my wife told me that she was coming back to DC, I started putting for an interstate compact so I can come home. So, I was past my year mark then. And they, the day that I went down for parole, the day I was going down parole, and I knew that I couldn't make it no more because I didn't have no money to get back down there because people was helping me get down there. The day I knew that I wasn't going to come back, it's possible I'm going to get locked up, is the day that I was sitting in Georgia in parole officer, and someone called me from Maryland saying that they accepted my parole in Maryland.
Okay.
And that's when I knew it was on. I said, I'm clean. I'm back in Maryland. And then we sat down. We didn't have confidence. Me and Salahuddin didn't have confidence in the script. We let 2 or 3 people look at it, and everybody said they like it. And I started screaming it around DC. A lot of people wouldn't. A lot of the go-go community wouldn't back it. Of course, they weren't going to back it. It was something new. So I just kept on running and running and running. I didn't never tell no one that we was well, let me take it back. I started production with Vernon Williams, and I worked for him for about 6 months for free. I did all the dirty work that he wanted me to do, all the dirty work. Worked for him free. We sold out like 2 or 3 shows, introduced him to my network of people, and helped him sell out some shows. And then he gave me an offer of having partnership. And the thing about it, we met at Jasper. I should be getting paid for saying Jasper.
Now wait a minute. Now what was this when Jasper's? Which one?
We talk about the old Jasper.
Largo.
Boy,
Largo.
that old Jasper's, boy, that parking lot, boy, old Jasper's.
Man.
Let me tell you something. My friend took me to. I never went. I never got plugged in. I worked in Baltimore all this time. I never plugged into DC. I went to Jasper's with a friend. I was like, "Thank you, Jesus, for not plugging me into." Jasper's was off the chain. Anyway,
Yeah.
Side note. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Wait a minute. Boosie got a comment. What are you saying, Boosie?
No, I'm just agreeing. I mean, Alicia was going to say the same thing.
Mhm.
Jasper's in Largo, boy. Woo!
For some reason, I've had several business meetings there. I have no idea why.
For some reason. And wait a minute.
It's never quiet. It's never quiet in there.
And wait a minute.
Never.
1 second. God told me to say he ain't asked me about leaving his wife and going back home. God just told me that, Doc. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I thought that he did tell me to leave because he was like, follow your dreams. And she knew I was definitely stubborn. So she knew that. And just fortunate she came home because I was about to break down and tell her I'm coming back to Atlanta because I was missing her. So she told me she was coming home she's coming back home and everything started. So I worked for Vern about 6 months. We met at Jasper. I had a pen and a napkin. He had a pen and napkin. And he was like, I want to make you a partnership. So I had put 20% of the business on my napkin, but he never saw it. And then he wrote it on a napkin and I snatched his napkin. And his napkin said 50%. I said, I'll go with this one. And I balled mine up. And we started running.
Okay. Business meeting at Jasper's on napkins. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Right. Love story, back and forth. This sounds like a Lifetime movie waiting to happen right now.
It's gonna happen. We talking about.
I'm telling you, boy. This
and
is a
Bruce,
love.
look, hey, everybody on it witnessing this. It's going down. So anyway, go ahead.
So from there, which people know, I started throwing plays, but then came to the Go-Go musical, The Giz. And what was special about it, no one knew that we were shooting at the MGM. I just kept on telling everybody, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Had a hard time with my city, people backing me. And I thought that by me announcing that we was at the MGM, that would, lighten people up, but it made it worse. So
okay, pause in the program. This is when, what do we say? Crabs in the barrel. I need to get the crabs in the barrel sound effects. I need to get the haters gonna hate sound effects. I'm gonna say, I need to get the devil is a lie.
mm-hmm.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So at this time, Go-Go wasn't in that theater at all, right? So actually, the MGM here in Maryland turned the idea down. They didn't want it. They gave me all type of excuses, the parking lot and everything. So we had an idea to get in touch with Vegas. That idea worked. We explained to them like Bob Marley. If Bob Marley did the Wizard of Oz in Jamaica, what would it be? Would you guys say that would be a hit? They definitely said it would be a hit with the reggae. I said, that's the same thing for Washington, D.C. We had a lot of obstacles at the MGM, which
hold on, Doc. This is what makes you a genius. That was a great analogy. Who wouldn't have bought that idea? Go ahead, play.
I love this part of the show because he's looking for a reason to push that horn, and you gave it to him. So I love it. I love where this is going. Okay, go ahead.
I like the horn.
Yeah. It's putting emphasis on your great ideas.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, I got it.
So with that being said, the guy in Vegas, he thought about it for a couple of days and he called. He said, "Man, we want to be a part of this. We think it'd be big for the region." So we did that. We got it going. We announced it. More problems came. What we all saw was no one thought about the production that we had to put into it. the money we had to put into it. Everybody just, the geniuses here in Washington, D.C., they just counted the tickets. They counted the tickets, how many seats, boom, boom, what the price was, not thinking that we have $165 ticket. That's not all, that whole 165 not coming to us. A lot of people didn't understand the business. So therefore, we were slated to have, major people in it. But it seemed like when that happened, we got railroad and everybody started dropping out. So I had to go to my resources, because it was God's assignment. I had to go look for other people. You know what I'm saying? So, Scooby Marshall stuck with me. Sugar Bear stuck with me. And then the late Tony Reds was
Rest
there.
in peace, man. I was going to say that too. Rest in peace, Tony. I was going to say that.
Late Tony Reds, and I used my network of people that really, really knew me. And we put a couple pieces together, and boom, it was magic. It was magic. It was magic all over the place.
Well,
Go ahead and push it. Go ahead and push it. There you go. We know you're waiting.
The initial thought was just how big it was. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that it wouldn't be denied. We're not throwing anybody under the bus, but we're not going to say any of the big stars who pulled out. We just leave it alone. But anyway.
Yeah.
Unless I'm joking. Let's not go there. Lisa, you're right. Lisa said no, Mark. No, okay, so right. That's right.
Because it worked out.
It worked out.
Exactly.
Because it worked out. And the other thing is, just from the outside looking in, so I was not able to be involved in it because I was doing cancer treatment. So I was watching it from afar, and Tony Reds was keeping me abreast of the whole time. And then I remember the response once it came out versus what they thought it was going to be. Because I remember hearing so many things. And it's also another interesting dynamic about that was what Go-Go in PG County, as you know, Lovail, they kind of banned Go-Go from PG County for a while. So a lot of the issues was they didn't want, people wanted to pick and choose who they wanted to do business with in PG County in general. They had closed the Legend. The lady who was running for council, her whole mission was, I'm going to run for council, and when I get it, I'm going to ban Go-Go. So at that time, it was so much stuff going on with PG County and Go-Go and why it was. And then because this is the Marc Clarke show, I can actually give you this tip. A lot of people in Go-Go bands thought the reason why they banned Go-Go in PG County because they wanted all the traffic to go to the MGM. So it was like a lot of response was, well, we're not going to support the reason why they wanted to ban the whole thing. It was so many things floating around, you know what I mean? But the idea was amazing. And when it came to fruition, the response was amazing. But these are some of the things that everybody may not know about. And I'm sure you know, Dr. Lovail, the way people get information, you don't know who is telling you, you don't know what promoter is telling you this, what their relation, who they don't like. So it was just so much going on. But people loved the idea, and the response was amazing.
And the response opened the door in a lot of ways for Go-Go, which no one never talk about. So at that time, the people inside the MGM that work, the locals that worked inside the MG, I'm telling you, I love them. They was fighting for me. I mean, they was fighting the big, like, y'all don't understand this going to be. And that night, Mr. Philly from the MGM came over to me and said, you did it. He was like, wow, it wasn't no incidents. It was just, and we sold, we was the highest seller for that quarter. Like,
what?
Yeah, okay, from the food.
Doc, I want to ring the bell only because your wife, your lovely wife, has stepped into the building, and that Backbone is in the building. Backbone is in the building. Come on now. Real estate, you're gonna sneak off and go back to DC and possibly go back to jail. Yes, and your wife is beautiful too, man. But I can say that because you and I have. We married up. God looked at us and said, "Oh no, they need some help here.
Yeah.
Take this rib and go with them because they need some. They need something. But again, and talk about again that point you just made. The food, the sales. Come on now, come on DC, come on now, Maryland.
That's a lot of things that people don't understand. That helps so much because once again, MGM wouldn't give us those type of numbers, but the people that worked inside the MGM, looking through the books, told us like, yeah, y'all was the highest seller that quarter, like everything from Snickers to drinks to the casino to it affected the whole situation.
And even before that, the first production to sell out MGM.
Yeah, the first theater.
And so that,
and we was the first ones to even be. We was the first one to even do theater in the MGM.
Come on,
any
now.
MGM.
Because all of the other performances were singers, those type of performances, concerts, not theater productions. And so to sell it out, to be the first to sell out is amazing. And I remember when we got the word that it sold out, we were doing promotions at WPGC. And the word came through, and everybody was in tears.
Basically. Yeah, that was the best moment of it. And I thank you for that, Lisa. That was the best moment. We found out we had sold out while we was doing another promotion to try to sell more tickets at PG. We all in PG, and they said Lovail, and I'm like, huh? They like, you guys are sold out. And that was one of them. And then they turned back around and said, well, we got to do a promotion to say you sold out. It switched the whole promotion thing. And wow. And it was beautiful. And even with PGC, they said we had broke the record for most screams at PGC on a live screen. We had made history. The guy came and got me. He was like, hey, man, y'all did a fabulous job of marketing. Like, we never had these type of numbers.
Wow.
So a lot of things went behind the scene to show that God knew what direction to point me into.
I mean, again, that part alone is a movie, and that
Lifetime,
and it will be. All we just need to figure out, and we'll ask the wife who's gonna play you, Dr. Long, and then obviously Lisa Renee will be played by
Lisa Renee.
Lisa Ray. And
I'm gonna have to first, Mark. I'm gonna have to play myself.
And so, look for our second phase of the interview. So
it's ever gonna play me.
Who?
It's just ever.
And then, of course, your wife won't want to play herself. So, so Lisa, so we got, you guys, you did it. You set the table. You established who you are, and then these other plays, man, have been amazing. So let's talk to Lisa a little bit, Doc. Tell us about what she means to you, and then Lisa, you can tell us about yourself. So we family, we know everybody.
Okay, yeah, I'm really ready to go in for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I met Lisa as an actor, and I had a partner at that time, and I kept on watching Lisa. It was her professionalism, and Lisa is a type of actor that can come on and act. What you can tell, she know how to tell the other actors where they marks at. So I'm watching, but she's not overtaking the director. So I'm watching. And at this time, I've already worked with Scooby. Well, I walked with Lisa first. Then I met Scooby and kind of figured out they were sisters and brothers. And I'm like, it's a talented family. So my story about her are the gigs. We called Lisa up at the last minute to do The Witch. And Lisa came back to us and she said, well, this pay is not right. And she got into it. She's like, no, I need this, I need that. And at that time, the budget didn't fit it. But she came back and she did it anyway. And I saw the passion in that. But then throughout watching the gigs, because I was so mesmerized by all the people there, Lisa came out and did The Witch. And for a couple of minutes, I forgot that I wrote this play. I forgot that I wrote it, and I became such a fan of hers. She was on paper to get some money. She was on paper to get some money. And then after the show, God moved me and said she definitely deserves more. So what I did, went in my pocket and paid her more, what she deserved. And from there, I think that built us a relationship with us that she knew that I was a man of my word. And we said one thing that we was going to give her, but she deserved so much more. And I gave her that. And then from there, I just started seeing her as a director and actor and everything. I wanted her to do all three of them. I wanted her to sing, dance, act, and direct. So from there,
we was waiting on this. We was waiting, Mark. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
So I called her brother one day before I even asked her. I called her brother and I said, hey, Scoob, you know what I'm saying? I want Lisa to direct. How should I approach her? And he was like, bruh, you better run her in the ground, get on her, push her, stay pushing. And I kept saying, well, give me some little advice. He said, stay on her, push her. She can do it. Push her, push her, push her.
Lisa's face is priceless right now. And I will comment later on why her face is priceless. But go ahead, though.
So therefore, I asked Lisa, and she knows she means the world to me. And we on a journey. So I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let her take it. I see her as a director, but I've told her several times I don't just see her as a director, but I can also foresee that she will be a part owner of DC Black Broadway. So that's what I see.
Come on. Now that's worth the horn.
Thank you so much.
That's worth the horn right there. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Lisa, that means a lot. That means a lot.
He said that on public, Lisa. He said that out his mouth.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And you know, black people.
Take your napkin back. Don't write no napkin now, Lisa.
If Big Mama listening, then it's a wrap. I don't care what happens now. If Big Mama listening, Dr. Long, you about to give up some of that company.
One thing about
out his mouth.
One thing about Lovail, I will say though, he's a man of his word. He really is. So if he says it, you can believe it.
Love it. You get the horn on that, Doc. I didn't feel like pushing it, but go ahead. So Lisa, tell us about yourself. Obviously, a talented company, and a talented person. You know, you're more than just a pretty face. Tell us about yourself.
Well, let's see. I come from a long line of talented people in my family. My dad, my uncles, my aunt. You know, it goes back. So I will say, Scooby and I, it's DNA that was deposited from our ancestors. Okay?
All right.
And I've been acting since I was little. When I was 10 years old, I put on a production in my parents' basement. I charged the neighborhood $25 to get in. I forced my friends to be a part of it. And, you know, you always have that one friend is not really, who is, I guess you could say, challenged in the performing area, but she really wanted to be a part of it. So I had her taking money at our front door. And then my older brother, Andre, some of you know him as Edward Cunningham, broker extraordinaire. We call him Governor. Governor used to have Scooby and myself and my sister Angela. He used to have us doing skits. He was always behind the camcorder. Okay, this is what I want y'all to do, or do this, or we're going to come up with this. And we used to do fake commercials and just all kind of crazy stuff. I believe if YouTube was out back then, we really would have went far with our stuff. So it was just for fun, you know. But my parents saw that this was something that I was really good at and that I was interested in. And so they enrolled me in DC Repertory Company. DC Repertory Company is where I honed my craft and I learned everything theater. They taught us acting, singing, dancing, modern jazz, tap, African, how to be a stage hand, how to be a stage manager, how to work the lights, the tech crew. You had to learn it all. And that's where it all started. And from there, I started getting into doing auditions for TV, you know, and it just went from there. It is something that I definitely love. I would say that even after doing TV and some film, theater is my first love. Theater is my first love. And I really want to try to get the love of the theater back to the DC area.
Yes.
You know, we have historical theaters. We have the Lincoln Theater. We have the Howard Theater. And, you know, in my parents' generation, the Howard Theater was lit. That was where all of the performers came to perform, was the Howard Theater, you know. And so I just want the love of the theater to come back like it is in New York. You know, you have Broadway, you have off-Broadway. And I just think the name DC Black Broadway is brilliant. You know, so that's basically my story. That's
and you sticking with it? And so we got exciting news in regards to DC Black Broadway. You know, I met Doc, and we were going to do the Fresh Prince, and then COVID got us, and I was 100 pounds heavier as Dr. Phil. So, you know, there's a new version of the Fresh Prince with a more, you know, svelte Dr. Phil, but I'll be the old heavy Doc. I'm still heavy, so I'm just saying I'm still available, Doc. But you know, we have some. Tell us about the great news. Everybody, get close to your phone, get close to your monitor. We've got some great, exciting news for everybody in the DMV and the world. It's going down right now. Listen up.
So the first thing is we are a local business, but we are going on our first tour of the Golden Girls. Rest in peace, Betty White. We are coming to do the Black Golden Girls, which already have sold out like 3 times here in Washington, D.C. So we are going to New York. We're going to Philadelphia. Then we back here in Washington, and then we got Atlanta. So we got 4 cities for the Golden Girls.
You know what's so funny? It's so, you know, things don't happen. What do you say? Nothing is by accident, right?
Right.
And so you guys continue to talk. Boots is a tie-in. There's a whole bunch of tie-ins here, though. But
right.
You know, Bootsy. But I got another one I want to play for you guys. I don't know if you've heard it or not. Bootsy knows what I'm talking about. You guys talk. I'll be right back. You guys continue sharing the good news.
Okay. So therefore, what happened was we going on tour, our first tour, which the dates are February 6th, February 14th.
So that's soon.
February 20th, yes, in Washington, D.C. at the City Winery. So everybody here in Washington, D.C., make sure you go get your tickets. February 20th at the City Winery is going to be a laughter. We have all Washingtonians that is in the cast. We have Lisa, I need you to help me. We got Kim Goods.
Kim Good. We have Kathleen Von Crosby Brooks. Mm-hmm. We have Anita Wade. She's a comedian out of Baltimore. And we have Akiba Robinson, a local actress. Wow. Oh, and then we have Terrell Brown. He's playing Romy Rome, the infamous Jerome from the Party Crashers.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
Yeah, he's everywhere, too. What made y'all choose
Okay, so
what made y'all choose Golden
That's
Girl?
a good question, Boozy. And I know you about to give an interview because you go hard. I love your interview.
No. Thank you, man.
So what happened is while I'm around the Washington, D.C. area, I have so many women of color coming up to me saying, hey, I love the Golden Girls. Like, I would love to see us in the Golden Girls. Like, I got a Golden Girl group. That, and I was telling everybody the other day, it was the Golden Girl, and it was Brewster. What's the girls? Brewster's Place?
Women of
Brewster Place.
Right.
So there's two shows that women approach me at all the time, because in theater it's like 96% women, Black women. So when they kept on approaching with the Golden Girls of Brewster, the women of Brewster Place, I thought it would be more, it would interest me more to work on turning a white show into Black. That would interest me more to do. So we got together, we started writing, and then it came to magic. At first I wrote it for 4 other women, 4 other known women in Washington, D.C. But then I said, well, let me have an audition. I was only doing the audition for marketing reasons, right? Because I already knew who I wanted. But what the funny thing happened was that, and that's why I respect auditions now. What happened was that 4 girls that I didn't have cast for this show showed up. And when I say these girls blew it away.
Wow.
And I had to go tell the other young ladies, like, we can't use y'all.
Wow. They were that impressive.
They were that impressive. They are really talented. And come see it. I promise you, afterwards, you'll be like, Lovail was not lying. And actually, the biggest compliment I got from them, 2 of the girls came to see the play that they knew I wrote it for them. And they saw these girls performing. They came up to me and said, I can't even lie, you made the right decision.
Wow.
They say,
let me ask you this question. I'm really fascinated about this one. So I know in the beginning you were talking about you was not always feeling comfortable writing and all that. When did you come to the point where you felt comfortable writing the plays yourself? Because now hearing that you're saying that you wrote it, when was that? Like was there something that happened? But when did you become fully comfortable being the writer?
You asked me, I'm gonna give you a 100%. Vernon put me down a lot behind the scenes, saying I couldn't write, which he never really, took time to, he was reading the script, but he was saying that I'm not a writer. Kept on telling me I'm not a writer, and it was irritating me because scripts that I was reading, I didn't think I knew I could write it better.
Right.
And then it came into this thing that Vernon, he said, I want to do this called Confession of a Side Chick. And he kept on saying, hey, I want to do Confession of a Side Chick. I want to do Confession of a Side Chick. I want to do Confession of a Side Chick. But we never had a script for it. So me and Salahuddin came down and we wrote it without him knowing it. And so we asked him, man, we need a script so we can put this in the slate so we can go. And then I said, well, he was like, well, I'm gonna start writing. And I said, well, we wrote one and sent it to him. And we sent it to him. He loved it.
Wow.
He loved it. He asked, like, who wrote this? And I'm like, we wrote it. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I was just like, once I saw everybody enjoy it, like when we did at the Lincoln, so many people enjoyed Confession of a Side Chick. And the biggest thing I do, I have not sat down and watched one of my plays yet because I monitor the crowd. But this is something that I say I'm going to start marketing. When you come to see a DC Black Broadway show, you will not be watching your phone. People do not watch their phone. They are plugged in on what's going on that stage.
Well, and as Dr. Long, as the ambassador for DC Black Broadway.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll say this also.
Hold on, I got my thing now. Oh, y'all with my.
You late. You gotta be quicker.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, after reading the script for the Giz, I knew that Lovail and Salahuddin were talented writers. And I think, his confidence just kept building after that. He was saying in the beginning, I don't know how to write a play. I don't know. But he is a naturally talented writer. It just is what it is. When I first read the script, I was very impressed. And then Confessions of a Side Chick came around. And I said, yeah, he's got it.
Which Lisa was the leading actor on it.
Get it, Lisa.
Yeah. Confessions of a Side Chick. It was a great moment.
Now let me do like I said. Nothing happens by accident, right? Mm-hmm. And as the ambassador for DC Black Broadway.
The horn works now, y'all. Okay, I got you. It's back. Okay.
Bootsy, who's a part of the Marc Clarke Morning Show, of course,
right,
is a super talented writer himself. Everybody on this thing that's talented, right?
Right.
So when Allison and I did afternoons on WHUR, Bootsy, along with his crew, put together something for us for a feature called Ask Allison. Now, when me and Allison heard this, and when the general manager heard this, we all said, that's amazing. Let's get it popping. The powers that be, though, said to us, it sounds too old. It's dated. It wouldn't work. So I'm going to ask y'all your opinion.
Thank you for being a friend. Now it's time to ask Allison. The point of view, she's a girl and a confidant. Now listen, everybody. This is the time we want to hear from you.
So what do y'all think?
I like that. Very classic.
Well,
now, let me say this. The funny thing about this is me and Scooby are pretty much the two people that write jingles for everybody around here. So
Right.
we have this little small competitive jingle thing going on between us. You know what I mean? Like, so it's so funny that Lisa's in here because most of our development came in Lisa's house, which is a whole nother story. You know what I
That's
mean?
a whole nother story for another day.
so we
No,
got
literally.
so obviously the theme song is right there, right? We can throw that in there if we want to, but
Yeah, we got to put that go-go beat on it.
yeah.
Hey, because I got a tribute I want to do to Betty White on February 20th.
Wow.
It has something to do with go-go. So, Boozy, I'm going to ring your phone number.
Please do. I can get it done in 2 days.
Yeah, and so let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
If those who don't know, Marc Clarke is the official ambassador of DC Black Broadway.
Does
I
the
reached out to
horn work? Does the horn work? Thank you.
I called my publicist one day and said, "Hey, Mark, and this is my eye. I keep my eye open, and people don't understand that I watch everything and how social media is so important. Because when I'm sitting here and I'm looking for people, I came across this guy, Marc Clarke, and I didn't really know too much about him. So I called Warren. I said, "Hey, Warren, man, I want to bring this guy, Marc Clarke. Man, he got to look, and he's funny. He's like really funny, and he's like a funny the correct way, because he don't really have to cuss to be funny." So I'm like, I think that'll fit. And he was well dressed. I said, well, I think that'll fit our model of DC Black Broadway. Then Warren was like, you know who he is, right? I'm like, nah, I just know that he's well dressed, he speak well, and he fits the model. And he said, man, that's Alice Seymour husband. I said, sign him up now. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. I said, let's go get him.
That's so funny. Now, the interesting thing is, I've been a fan of Marc Clarke for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember the first time me and Allison had a real conversation. I'm sure nobody ever does this to Allison. I'm like, Allison was like, hey, I love what you're doing with Donnie and all that. I was like, yeah. So can I meet Marc Clarke? Like, can you introduce me to Marc Clarke? Like, you know what I mean? Like, half of the conversation with me and Allison was, yeah, it's nice to meet you, Allison. But can you introduce me to Marc Clarke? I want to meet Marc Clarke. So, yeah, I already knew who he was.
Yeah.
Well, and let me just say, this is now Lovail called it though, but this is before everything. Like before I lost weight, before I got the TV thing. I think I was in between opportunities when Lovail hit me up, and I got a chance, like Lovail said, to witness. So I introduced the. Well, first of all, Lovail, look how crazy. Again, things don't happen by accident. Actually, Lovail had me come with them to Channel 9 when we did the introduction.
Yeah.
As the play was coming up,
right.
And I was going to be the MC. And so actually, that's the first time that I was on that show on Channel 9. That's crazy. And then we did the show. And like Lovail said, the crowd at the winery, it was crazy. They were having a great time. We had a great time. And we were, that was going to start the run. And then COVID started to shut things down. And so Lovail, he had that vision even before then. So now, it's even going to just be even better. So it's amazing, right?
Right. So I want to put in there that we do have two go-go musicals slated for. We have a Resi at Bethesda Jazz and Blues for the 22 season and the 23 season. We got two go-go musicals slated.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Say that again. I got to have to go ahead once again.
We got a Resi at the historic
Residency at Bethesda Jazz and Blues. Beautiful location. That's a great concept. So you have a great time, get great food and entertainment. Oh my goodness. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I do want to mention we got two go-go musicals slated. And I want to put the first one out there because the people know I've done it. I don't want everybody jumping, but we're doing Grease with a side of mumbo sauce. So we're doing the Grease version of go-go.
Wow.
Crazy.
Listen, Grease is one of my favorite movies. I know every song. So I cannot wait. To direct this one.
I can't wait for I got chills.
And multiplying to that go-go beat.
You're the one that I love.
Go ahead, Boosie. I know you're gonna be calling, Boosie. Come on with it.
Boosie can't wait. Look at him.
Come on, baby. He already know I'm on this line. He already know I'm gonna be calling. Come on, man. He already know.
Yeah, so we got a lot of fun coming, man. A lot of fun.
I love. Oh, come on now.
So we talked about the Fresh Prince. We still gonna
wait a minute, hold on, Doc. And Doc's got the best team, marketing team, promotion team ever. That grease with a side of mambo sauce image. Wow. Woo!
Gonna be
that merch, that t-shirt. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad. Wow. Ooh, I'm a 2X now too, by the way.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be good.
The grease with the mambo sauce graphic with your people.
And that's Angela Washington. So let me say this, Mark. Let me say this. We got you slated for this one, but I'm gonna give y'all another one because we got it filmed here, so nobody can't take it. So it's just a form of trademark. Boosie, I know one I got for you. I'm doing a joint called the Go-Go-Topia. I got something for you.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for 20 years. I've been waiting for 20 years, Bill.
So we're gonna slate this. We got A Woman's Love. We're gonna have A Woman's Love, Boogaloo's Juke Joint. It was another one.
Boogaloo's Juke Joint is set in the 1940s.
Wow! Oh man, what? Oh no, not the get the gear on.
Y'all gotta stop telling all these ideas. Y'all might gotta stop telling all these amazing ideas right now.
Well, the thing is, with the residency at Bethesda Blues and Jazz Supper Club, every weekend, starting in May, not every weekend, but every month starting in May for a full year, we will be doing a different play every month, which hasn't been done. We have a lot of work. Actually, we have a lot of work ahead of us. So we will be doing the ones that we just mentioned. We're going to bring back the Fresh Prince of Potomac. Now, when we were first doing the Fresh Prince, of course, Mr. Marc Clarke was slated to play Uncle Phil. I was not a part of DC Black Broadway exec team. I was an actor for hire, and I was slated to play Aunt Viv.
That was going to be my baby.
Yeah, so when we do the Fresh Prince, when it does come back around, it'll be a first for me as director and actor. So that's the challenge. So we'll see.
Oh, and I forgot to say one thing too. No, I can't say. I would leave that one alone.
Yeah, man, you giving us everything, even though everything is secured and trademark down there. I see somebody wrote. But boy,
ahead, Lennis. I'm just saying, I'm stuck on that grease with the mambo sauce. I'm stuck with that.
Thank you, Lin.
Yeah, we ain't worried about it. They can't do it. They can't do it the way I could do it. So we ain't worried about it.
All right. Well, you're right. Okay, you're right, Bootsy. Okay, quit talking about it then, Doc. Never mind. Let me say something. You know, that's the one thing I learned. I did learn this, and I'm not trying to, whatever. But when I was in Dubai, a friend of mine is a businessman, and he basically, Dubai and the Silicon Valley, he basically, as a high level business guy, we were in the room with people who have all the money. And the one thing that I said, wow, I learned, because when you're in black barbershops, people always tell you people have great ideas, but it don't mean nothing. What I learned was, ideas mean everything. The people that have all the money, all they're looking for is a great idea. Right. And Doc, you have amazing ideas.
Yeah, you do.
And so I get it, and so, because, I think, again, black folks, we hear about great ideas at the barbershop, at the cookout all the time, because we don't see them come to fruition. We don't think they're valuable. Oh, no, they are super duper valuable. And the concepts we talked about today, Lisa and Doc, what you just said about the plays and again, you guys can pull it off. That is a amazing concept and idea. And the thing about your plays of DC Black Broadway, the interaction with the audience, and then just the level of entertainment is such that, sometimes, when I think, Lisa, you talked about theater. We went to, a lot of times when you go to the theater, I think especially for people who aren't necessarily all in or don't know the history, sometimes, it can be dull or not exciting because it's over people's heads a lot of times. Right. You guys do a great job of having a quality product, so it's not like, we've seen some terrible plays that just ain't done right. The quality product, but also entertaining and engagement, and also it has character. So that's a great formula. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. One of the reasons for that, Mark, is because I feel like people are more so looking for their 15 minutes of fame, especially with the birth of social media. And people aren't honing their crafts. Amen. They aren't doing their research to really study theater. So they think that they can just put together anything and throw it on stage and they'll have their 15 minutes. But if you want to be in this game for a long time, if you want longevity, you're going to have to hone your craft. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to take classes. And look at those that came before you that were successful. Because if social media was to shut down, you better have some skills.
Amen.
That's really something to think about. That's really something to think about there as well. Because I know we do live in a real microwavable type of society without actually learning the craft. So like those jewels you just dropped is amazing. But also I just think the testament with Dr. Lovail is the fact that he understands the demographic that he's serving because he's been here for so long. I think sometimes people may look at it like he's throwing something out there, but with Lovail being around here for so long at doing multiple things, it's a testament to him understanding the climate. And I also think the response that he got and the support he got was a testament to how he's done business all these years. Like me and Lovail, we always saw each other in passing and talk, and you always saw him handling business. You always seeing them being humble. You always seeing them with an idea. So I think this marriage between him and Lisa is great. You know what I mean? Because it's a testament of where hard work and drive meets talent and determination. This whole thing is really amazing, but it's a testament to you two linking up because I've known you two for a long time and didn't know that this was going on. So
yeah, Lisa gives me a lot of confidence. So when I'm on the phone with her, she don't know this. But I get more confidence when I talk to her. Angela Washington done that for me when I started the game with her graphics and her promotions. She would do something. I would feel real confident around her because it made me feel like it was right. So when I'm with Lisa, like I watched her in rehearsal the other night, and I'm thinking like, well, if they do that, Lisa's already on it like 3 different ways. So it gives me more confidence into what I'm doing when I know that I have a LeBron, on the court. I can coach more better.
All right, so, LeBron. Lisa LeBron.
I call her coach. So it gives me more confidence of creating and knowing that someone can bring your vision together. Because that's what it means. What I do is pretty easy for me, but seeing someone bring that to a vision. And when you look at something that you wrote and then you don't realize you wrote it, you're like, I didn't write that. Because everything is, directors and the actors are so important in this industry that it actually makes me look good, but they're bringing it alive.
Wow.
Well, look, so that's what I like about it.
Dr. Lovail, your story is inspiration.
Man,
I think you, when we hung out, I think you saw it. You felt me, how impressed I am. How proud I am and how excited I am to be associated with you guys. It is only getting bigger and better. And so I'm so glad you guys were one of the first guests on the show. And I think it's just going to be 2022 is going to be amazing. I can't even wait for these shows, man. I can't wait.
February.
I want to give you a sneak peek on something. I can't tell you this because we ain't got this down right. But I think this combination of you two, and I thought I've been thinking about this, but I want to do my own game show here in Washington.
Oh yeah, come on now. And you know what?
And I'm just gonna leave that as that.
Nothing's by coincidence.
I got a great idea for a game show.
Well, and we gotta play. Yes. Okay. So enough. This is it. This is it. Okay. Anything that we need to wrap up with Dr. Long and Lisa as we wrap things up?
I just want to say,
February 20th.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I was just going to say February 20th. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please get your tickets. DC
Where do we go, Lisa, for tickets?
DCCityWinery.com and /DC, I believe. If you go to the website, though, you can click on DC. They have the different cities listed, and you can just click on DC. So, yeah, get your tickets for the Golden Girls. It's going to be great, and we can't wait to see you in the building. Other than that, thank you guys so much for your support, and I want to shout out DC Black Broadway, our team is phenomenal. So thank you guys behind the scenes for all that you do.
Doc, final words.
I want to say rest in peace to the great Tony Reds. He's one of the first actors, and I was his only acting family. I want to say a shout out to him because he did star in the Golden Girls. And so when we hit that stage, it would be a rest in peace for him and the great Betty White. I want to say thank you to my DC Black Broadway staff. I want to thanks to my wife. I want to say thanks to God. And I want to say thank to you, Marc Clarke and Bootsy, man, for having us on here. And let's remember, man, that make Black theater stronger, return stronger. We need you guys' help because local theater is getting pushed to the side. And so anything that you guys can do to help us promote more than DC Black Broadway, because we do have a play slated, not other at the Resi Dana Dane. She's doing her play Woman's Love. So we're giving opportunities to other writers and producers. So it's just not for us as Black theater. We want to help the whole Black theater community in the DMV. So y'all go out there and buy these tickets and help us get stronger. If you can put the word out for us and get some tickets sold, man, we appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll definitely do that. In fact, we need a commercial. Let's get a commercial so we can play it on my show every day. So we'll talk about that off the air. Okay. Love you guys. All right. Tomorrow.
Hold on, Mark. Can I just say, Lisa, I love you, Lisa.
I love you,
Lisa, I don't see Lisa enough. For people who do not know, I literally spent years in Lisa's house as a teen. Lisa's house was like the music hub that nobody knew about. I mean, Lisa had to share her house with a whole entire band every day. Like literally, she had to share her whole house. So I've known Lisa since I was in the 9th grade. So, like literally, and she's been like a big sister to me. She was more than Scooby's big sister to a lot of us. So Lisa, I love you. It's great to see you. I don't get to see Lisa, as life happens, but man, I didn't know she was still doing this. This is amazing. Lisa's history, I saw Lisa the last time. Her father had an 80th birthday party, and we all showed up at the end of the summer for this 80th birthday party. So I don't get to see Lisa enough. Lisa, I love you. I love your mom. I love your dad. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Big Frank. I love you guys. I just wanted to say that because I love me some Lisa, and Lisa deserves more of her flowers because Lisa has been responsible for a lot of people that people don't know about, including the go-go icon Scooby right now. You know what I mean? She is responsible for a lot of it, whether she says it or not. So
I like that face. Lisa just did that little face said it all. Lisa's face was like.
No, but earlier you said that my face was priceless when Lovail was talking, but I don't know what you meant.
Oh, that was the Scooby's big sister thing coming out. Like,
okay.
Yeah, let me, because Lisa was the one that would keep people. Me and Scooby had the same personality. We're funny. We're kind of all over the place. Lisa is serious. It's time to lock in. What's going on around here? Lisa was the one that would stare us all back like this. Me and Scooby never took nothing serious. All we wanted to do was play go-go music, listen to music. Lisa was the structure for a lot of us, including her brother, who has now become this amazing. But let me give you some unknown facts. Her father is an accomplished singer, and her uncle is Pookie Hudson from Pookie Hudson and the Spaniels. Good Night, Sweetheart. Like her history and what we were learning through her father and her as kids has taught us all this way. So I just wanted to give Miss Lisa Renee Marshall her flowers, and I love you, Lisa, because I don't get to tell you that.
You
I don't get to tell you how much I appreciate.
My age, though.
I love it. I love it. And that's what I love about Bootsy. Bootsy got that. He always got that little extra sauce. He got a little extra mambo sauce on every story. So that's why
no, I can hold on. Let me tell you how deep it is. I
Mark like that mambo sauce.
It is. Yeah. I remember when Lisa moved into her first apartment and we had to help her move when she moved out of the house. Like that's how far 24. Back that's how far I go back with her. And she had snakes everywhere in the apartment. I'm like, oh no, I ain't touching these snakes. Like that's how far back I go.
Wait a minute. Okay, you tell Lisa's business now.
No, like she had like a little small animal farm in her first apartment. And I remember telling Scooby, I'm not touching these snakes, these animals, bro. Like I ain't doing this. Like, but I remember helping her move into her. That's how far back I go with her.
Okay,
Lisa, I'm a Virgo. I love animals. I love nature.
Who knew? Who knew? Well, that's going to wrap it up. Again, thanks again, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend if we don't see you. And thank you for listening. Again, if you are a business owner, if you have a product, if you need a platform, Marc Clarke Morning Show, we're here for you. We're here for you. All you got to do is contact me. All right, y'all. Be good. Peace.